In the last lecture, we looked at the types of images based on the source of those images. We saw that the electromagnetic radiation is a source for a wide range of images. We then looked at a few examples of gamma ray imaging and images in the X-ray band. Now, hard X-rays or high energy X-rays are used in industrial applications, whereas chest and dental X-rays are in the lower energy or the soft end of the X-ray band. The soft X-ray band transitions into the ultraviolet light region, which has a number of applications, including lithography, industrial inspection, microscopy, lasers, biological imaging, and astronomical observations. We're now going to shed light on one of the key and fast-growing areas of ultraviolet imaging, and that is fluorescence microscopy. Fluorescence is the emission of light by a substance after absorbing ultraviolet radiation. The ultraviolet light itself is not visible, but when a photon of ultraviolet radiation collides with an electron in an atom of fluorescent material, it elevates the electron to a higher energy level. Now, when that excited electron relaxes to a lower level, it emits light in the form of a lower energy photon in the visible light region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Fluorescence microscopy is an excellent method of studying materials that can fluoresce in natural form or after being treated with chemicals. Over here in this figure is shown a practical fluorescence microscope whose working is such that once a specimen has been prepared, it is exposed to ultraviolet radiation for excitation. Now we detect the radiating light from that specimen and we separate it from that bright excitation light. Now those areas which began to fluorescence after exposure to ultraviolet radiation are rather easily detected. We now move to imaging in the visible and infrared bands of the electromagnetic spectrum. Visible band is the most familiar to us as we the humans see in the visible band. We also know that the visible band, also known as the white light, further comprises of 7 regions or 7 kinds of electromagnetic radiation, with violet having the highest frequency and red having the least frequency. It is also not surprising that imaging in the visible band coupled with the infrared band outweighs by far all the other bands in the EM spectrum in terms of breadth of application. There are a vast range of applications, including but not limited to microscopy, astronomy, remote sensing, industry, and law enforcement. In this slide, we look at several examples of images obtained with a light microscope. Now, the basic working of a light microscope is such that the light is passed through a specimen. Sometimes that light passes unhindered, at other times it is deviated, which allows in the formation of an image of the internal structure of the specimen. Light microscope has massive application in medical laboratories. Now the first figure here is that of Taxol, which is an anti-cancer agent. This image has been obtained with a light microscope and is magnified 250 times. The second image is that of cholesterol. This image too has been magnified about 40 times. Then, other than medical diagnosis, light microscope has immense uses in various other fields. So the third image over here is that of a chip inside a microprocessor. This particular image has also been magnified by the microscope by 60 times. The third image is of a specimen of nickel oxide. The fourth image, which is magnified almost 2000 times, shows the surface of an audio CD. And the last image is that of a certain superconductor, which again has been magnified almost 450 times. With reference to medical imaging based on the visible light of the electromagnetic spectrum, you may have heard of endoscopy. Endoscopy or keyhole surgery allows us to look inside the patient's body through a narrow, flexible tube called a scope. Endoscopy is mostly used for diagnosing problems in the food pipe, the stomach, and intestines. It is able to detect problems such as ulcers or any kind of bleeding or tumors. Usually, optical fibers are used for sending light in the patient body, and a miniature video camera records the image, which is then viewed on a screen or printed for any further use. Another major area of imaging in the visual band and infrared band of the electromagnetic spectrum is remote sensing. Remote sensing in general refers to the use of satellite or aircraft-based sensor technologies for obtaining information and images of the Earth's surface, its atmosphere, and its oceans. Remote sensing can be active, where a signal is emitted by a satellite or an aircraft, and its reflection is detected by the sensor. Or remote sensing can also be passive, where the reflection of the sunlight is detected by the sensor. Now, imagery of the Earth's surface done via remote sensing usually involves several bands in the visual and infrared regions of the spectrum. Now, this table over here shows the so-called thematic bands in NASA's Landsat satellite. The blue light of the visible band is used for maximum water penetration, whereas the green light of the visible band is good for measuring the strength or the quality of the plants. The red light of the visible band is useful in differentiating or discriminating between different plants, forests, and vegetation, whereas the infrared band is in general used for mapping the shoreline, the soil, the moisture inside the soil, as well as the minerals. NASA, as you're probably already aware, stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is an agency of the US government which is responsible for the space program, the space research, aeronautics, as well as their satellite programs. Landsat program is one of the longest running programs of NASA. The most recent Landsat 8 was launched in February 2013. The Landsat satellites are mainly responsible for obtaining and transmitting images of the Earth from the space for monitoring environmental conditions on the Earth.